Welcome to FRCMedia News for Thursday, May 24th, 2018. I'm Keith Tebow. Tonight we have an update on the Streetscape Improvement Project now underway in Fall River. We have highlights of a city ceremony to honor emergency medical service personnel and details on dedication of the footbridge in honor of longtime businessman, low price Lenny Kaplan. But first, as we always do, we check into the news headlines of the week. Will Richmond from the Herald News is taking a well-deserved week off, but in his place this week we have the capable reporting of Joe Good from the Herald News. Joe, welcome.
Hi, Keith. How are you?
Good. Nice to talk to you again. A couple weeks ago, Mayor Correa announced his budget for fiscal year 2019, which will start in July. One of the big takeaways was the mayor's intention to once and for all end the purple bag pay-as-you-throw program here in the city of Fall River. It's been well documented on the plans that the mayor has for that. One of the things that actually came up in our office was that some people in our office are actually hearing from people in the city that, well, the city's going to get rid of the purple bags. Why should I buy any more purple bags? Have you or anyone at the Herald done any looking into this as well? Are you hearing these same type of rumblings from residents? And if so, and people don't buy purple bags any longer before the official end of the program, how could that impact revenues?
Well, actually, I've heard that myself personally, that pretty much since it was seriously being talked about before the budget came out, that people said as soon as I hear that it's gone, I'm not using the bags. I think it's going to affect revenue. And I'm doing right now a sort of a deep dive into the whole proposed abolishment of pay-as-you-throw. And I think there's a few red flags perhaps on some shortfalls even beyond that 90-day that's required before the program can be, done away with. I've talked to some experts in the field, and they're saying that the tonnage rates and the recycling rates could go back to the pre-program numbers. So I think it's even a bigger issue beyond that. Again, that 90-day window where people are going to stop buying the bags. Although I did meet with the administration today, and they said even though they are doing away with the program, they are not doing away with compliance checks. Right. So I'm not quite sure how if they have the staff to really be able to take a deep look at how everybody is, disposing of their trash and recyclables, but they did say they will continue to do compliance checks. That was
going to be my follow-up as to, obviously it's still in effect right now. People should still be using the purple bags, but there are some people who may say, well, if I get a citation of some sort, well, depending on when I get it, if it's, let's say, in August, and let's say the purple bag, the pay-as-you-throw program is abolished in September, well, okay, well, what's the chance that I'll face any penalties? So, So it's good that you're saying that the city's still checking up with compliance issues. Right.
But I would also say, just to add to that it's not just a revenue issue. Right. Tonnage, the city's paying $75 a ton right now, and if it should go back to the pre-program, they could be looking at almost $1 million shortfall to pay to get rid of MSW. So that's something else that the Herald News is looking at right now.
All right, we'll follow it along, especially as the City Council in June will begin its deliberations on the budget, and this will obviously be a big part of their deliberations. Also, this week actually was a story that was posted over the weekend. We had talked about it with Will a while back, and you reported on a follow-up. An employee with the Housing Authority who had gotten into some disciplinary issues and a prior suspension. His outcome, if you will, has been determined that he will actually be leaving his position not until next year, but he will still be receiving a pay. Fill us in on some of the details here, Joe.
So this goes back, I would say, January 2017, when Emilio Stasio, and he's a supervisor, I believe in maintenance, and actually his boss had been put on at first unpaid suspension. The union had been filing many complaints. There were hearings back then, and they did settle with the supervisor, but they only settled in April with Mr. Stasio. His agreement to basically leave the authority is that he will be paying over $96,000 between now and next April. Those will be paid in increments as if it was a paycheck. He will, and after that, he agreed to no longer be an employee at the authority. He will accrue vacation and sick days, and even though he will not be working or have any duties associated with his position, once he does file for to retire, he will get another $27,000 check for his back vacation and sick time pay. So,
is this something that's normally done in terms of an employee? I know when an employee retires on a city level, state level, they are able to accrue and take home that unused vacation and sick time. But in this issue, because it was disciplinary in nature, at least that was the initial reports, is this something that's commonplace?
That's a great question.
Right.
I haven't seen too much of it. There were lawyers involved. There had been a lot of negotiation, from what I understand, back and forth. But he wasn't just suspended once. He had at least 2 suspensions that I was aware of, and for sexual harassment, and some sort of bidding issue. He had a family member had gotten some emergency work, and he was disciplined for that as well. So I don't hear too much of this sort of approach, but it's a head scratcher, I think.
Right.
So.
Absolutely. Finally, let's end on some news this week in terms of technology in the city of Fall River. A lot of us have our phones, and the city of Fall River announced recently that there's an app for that. There's an app for people to get an app where they can input on their phones access to reporting potholes and other services throughout the city. Talk a little bit about that.
I sat down the other day with the IT director, Dawn Lewis. It's based on the 311 system that's used in other communities.
Right.
But it's a little bit different, and of course, in order to continue using the new branding, it's called Make It Here FR. Right. And it's pretty cool. She did a great job. So, say there's a pothole outside your driveway, you can register online, or you can download the app, the Make It Here FR, and you basically take out what they call a ticket. So you have different prompts to what your issue is. Maybe you need a permit. Maybe you want to know where you're going to, where to pay your traffic ticket. And so you start that process. Right. And what's great about it is on the receiving end, staff are required to basically log it, either find a solution within a certain time frame, or at least let the person that is filing the complaint or the whatever the issue will be able to see in real time how the city is handling their particular issue. So there's so I think that's kind of neat.
Right.
it's better than having to go to City Hall or being put on hold because there's a clerk who's got 4 other lines going, and so and you get to see in real, not real time, but you get to track the progress of your issue. So
that sounds good. All right, Joe Good from the Herald News. I appreciate your time. We'll talk again soon. Take care.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
On the latest hot jobs list from the Fall River Career Center. Operations Assistant Manager. Dollar Tree, located at 529 Quarry Street, is looking for a full-time operations assistant manager responsible for assisting with all operational tasks within the store and hiring, training, and development of store associates. Job number 10577288. Clinical Manager. A medicist located at 986 Plymouth Avenue is currently seeking a full-time clinical manager to lead a clinical team with varied expertise to care for patients one-on-one in their home environment. Job number 10579247. Employment Specialist. Fall River Community Development Recreation Center, located at 72 Bank Street, is in need of a full-time employment specialist responsible for helping clients with disabilities develop career goals, teach pre-vocational job retention skills, and provide career skills training support for employment opportunities. Job number 10568537. South Coast Health System is looking to fulfill the following full-time positions in the Fall River area. Health Unit Coordinator, job number 10579301. Patient Access Intake Representative, job number 10579318. Burlington Department Store, located at 181 Mariano S. Bishop Boulevard, is looking to fulfill the following full-time positions. Receiving Associate, job number 10576922. Customer Service Coordinator, job number 10579630. For more information on these or other positions, visit jobquest.detma.org or call the Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
On the morning of May 25th, 1778, in the midst of the Revolutionary War, 500 British troops landed on the shores of Mount Hope Bay and attacked Fall River. Fall River's soldiers were outnumbered 5-1, but they fought off the Redcoats without any loss of life. Celebrate this memorable battle at a living history event as Fall River Heritage State Park commemorates the 240th anniversary of the Battle of Fall River on the same riverbanks where the confrontation took place. The event will feature local military reenactment units, infantry drills, demonstrations of open-fire cooking, blacksmithing and sailmaking, and more. It will take place from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, June 2nd, and from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Sunday, June 3rd. In addition, a slideshow about the Battle of Fall River will be shown at noon both days in the Visitor Center Theater. This event is free and suitable for all ages and will be held rain or shine. Free parking is available in the DCR lot at 5 Water Street. For more information, please call 508-675-5759, extension 500.
Welcome back. Fall River Mayor Jaziel Correa has begun his streetscape improvement project throughout parts of the city. FRC Media News' Donna Mata has that story.
Fall River's Department of Public Utilities is working in conjunction with the city's engineer in order to make the streetscape project a reality here in Fall River. The work is being done in conjunction with each of these departments so that the underground and the above-ground work can get done.
So the Purchase Street project is a streetscape project being implemented by the city's engineering department. The sewer department has partnered with them, and we are installing a new drain from Franklin Street into the parking lot of Government Center to pick up the drainage in that area and deliver it to the old Quikashana riverbed, which functions as a drainage structure now.
And what will be the actual end result?
The end result is, from the sewer department's perspective, is the new drain will remove a lot of stormwater from the combined sewer system to help with the CSO project. It will deliver it to a separate drain, which ultimately goes to the Quikashana River, then to the Taunton River. The surface improvements by the engineering department will include tree improvements. The street will be repaved, sidewalk improvements to dramatically improve the neighborhood. In addition, there's a streetscape project going on East Main Street right now. Similar surface improvements to improve the neighborhood. We, through the water department, have partnered with the engineering department to replace the water main on that particular project. The water main is actually 99% complete, finishing up now, and then the surface improvements, paving, sidewalk, trees, street lights, whatever's planned by the engineering department will be coming next.
East Main Street is for the entire length of the street, from the intersection at South Main, continuing south all the way to Dwelly. The entire street is going to be improved. Where appropriate, we'll be upgrading some drainage, but prior to doing all the street work, we needed to get the water line in so that we're not back into the street in short order and ripping up everything that we've just constructed. So that was why we made the water line part of the contract for the streetscape. We had attempted to go about that a different way, and we weren't able to make it a change order to another contract. So,
Emergency medical services personnel were honored at Government Center this week for their public safety service work. The ceremony falls during EMS Week, designed to honor emergency workers who, according to the city's fire chief, John Lynch, help in maintaining the health of our city residents.
Old age used to be considered 70 years old. That's no longer the case. These days, 70 is almost young. We're seeing people 80s, 90s, in the case of Yvette Mancini, 102 years old. And that's directly attributed to the medical profession. I know short years ago, maybe 30 or 40 years ago, EMS consisted of an ambulance, a gurney, and 2 people that, when called, went to a house and basically scooped up the person, threw him in the back of the ambulance, and rushed him to the hospital. Here we are, this day and age, where we have paramedics. They're on a par with doctors in a hospital. Their intervention at medical emergencies at the homes of these people before they transport them to the hospital is a reason why people are living so long today. And I can honestly say that the city of Fall River has some of the best medical people on the planet. Now, I don't say that lightly.
I had some experience with it. I had a brother-in-law at the time who was a paramedic, and having seen my grandmother go through some things when I was a kid, it really drew me to the aptitude that a lot of them delivered their job with. So seeing that calmness and that passion for helping people out really made me want to do what I do.
Now, how do you remain calm? You have a young family, so when you see an emergency situation, how do you actually control your own emotions?
Well, they definitely teach me patience. But the big thing I learned, this is my first day of school, is, it's not your medical emergency, it's somebody else's. And try to remind yourself of that, and try to remind yourself that, you want to treat other people the way that you would want your own family to be treated, and try and, if people see you get nervous and they see you get worked up, then it's only going to amplify what they're going through.
Have you had the experience of helping someone and they actually do appreciate it, and maybe told you after the fact?
It does happen. It's far and few between, but it's we don't do the job for the thanks.
Right, you do it because
we like to help people.
Heritage State Park on Fall River's waterfront is kicking off its outdoor season this Memorial Day weekend, starting with the introduction of a new addition.
Make a family announcement here. We have a new set of cygnets. Everybody get that word, cygnets, baby swans, in the park. So come on down and welcome the new additions to the swan family at Fall River Heritage State Park.
Because in a sense, they're kicking off the season.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a season to kick off, too. This is a big one. Last year it was our first year here. This year, we're building on last year, and we've got a lot of activities. It's going to be a jam-packed summer. So it was a lot of fun last summer. It's going to be more fun this summer. Movies outside, 8 movies all summer long. We have those, and we have free lunches in the park. And in July, the end of July, we have the Pan Asian Festival. Last summer, Fall River hosted the Cambodian Festival, and this year it's grown. It's going to be the Pan Asian Festival, and it's going to be right here in the state park. So we have that. Our friends from the Greater Fall River Art Association are coming back again for plein air. They will be out here with easels, painting in the park, painting some of the beautiful scenery, capturing the ship and the bridges and all that good stuff.
Also at Heritage State Park last weekend, the footbridge connecting the park to the visitor center was dedicated to longtime businessman, low-price Lenny Kaplan.
Lenny, you play the kazoo, and I looked up something about it. Remember Betty Davis? And she is quoted as saying, "That's me, an old kazoo with some sparklers." That was Betty Davis. I'm going to start with a short letter that was written, and I'll tell you who the author was at the end. Len Kaplan, also known as Low Price Lenny, or as my grandchildren lovingly call him, Mr. Kazoo, is to me the Mr. Senior Sweetheart. Last Sunday, I attended the last local Miss Senior Sweetheart pageant, and with the sadness of knowing it is ending, I take joy in the many joyful memories that the Miss Senior Sweetheart pageant and Lenny have provided seniors and their families. What an inspiration, what a joy Lenny has been as he has done what he loves, making people happy. Lenny, with the outstanding sponsorship of Bank 5, Steve Aguiar, and a team of wonderful volunteers have presented this pageant for decades. They have all done so because they all know how deeply Len cares about doing something positive for our senior citizens, and they share his love and his vision. As I watched Lenny dance the last dance with each of the ladies and heard him sing his last pageant song, my eyes filled with tears, tears of joy, tears of sadness, but tears that will nourish my heart, soul, and spirit for the rest of my life. Mr. Len Kaplan truly exemplifies the giving and loving soul of our Fall River. His dream and his dedication give me hope for our city and our people. From the bottom of my heart and the hearts of all senior citizens in the city of Fall River, thank you, Lenny, for your compassion, dedication, love, and giving spirit. May you be always blessed with everything that is good. Linda Pereira.
And we'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Hey, welcome to Hot Dogs Cool Cats. This is Nellie. She is a Greyhound mix. She's a year old and 7 months. She was actually at the shelter before a few months ago and she got returned. It's not her fault. She's a very sweet girl. So if you'd like to come down and meet her, come down to Forever Paws. We are located on 300 Glenwood Street in Fall River. We are open every day from 11 to 4 except for Wednesdays and major holidays. Come down and meet her because she'd like to meet you.
So I'd like to introduce Mindy and Mindy. They're mother and daughter. She's probably around 3. She's probably around 1 or 2. And they're not a bonded pair, but they do so well together. It would be nice if you could consider, if you're looking for 2, to come and get these 2 because they're very sweet, easy to handle. So you can tell they've already had handling in their lives, even though they're the age that they are. Mindy, the daughter, is a little bit more skitty, and Mama Mindy has something special going on with her that everyone needs to know about. She had one of the cysts that guinea pigs often get, and she had it surgically removed. This will never go away. It will always be there, but it is healed completely, and it doesn't seem to bother her in the least. So if you're aware of this and know how to take care of this, that would be excellent for you to be the one who comes to say hi to Mindy and hi to Bindi so that they can get adopted.
Next year, the City of Fall River will be negotiating a new contract with Comcast to provide cable service to subscribers. Public input is essential to a successful contract renewal. To collect this input and to better position the city to meet its communications needs for the next 10 years, FRC Media has commissioned a community needs assessment. We need your help. We're asking residents to take part in an online survey to get your reaction to the service Comcast provides in the city and how we can better utilize our community television channels, FRC Media, Fred TV, and FRG TV. For more information and to take the survey, visit frmedia.org/survey. Those who participate will be eligible to win one of 2 $100 Amazon gift cards. Help us shape the local communications landscape in Fall River. Take our online cable TV survey at frmedia.org/survey. This upcoming Memorial Day weekend is filled with celebrations. One is in the form of a food truck festival to be held at the gates of the city on Ponta Delgada Boulevard. We asked the mayor's special assistant, Monica Souza, what's special about this year's event.
Really just to highlight these small businesses and give them a showcase. You know, normally a small business will have a storefront that you can walk into, and these are just some non-conventional small businesses. So really to highlighting all of the investments that these folks have put into their trucks, and they're really beautiful. Some of them are very colorful, so they're really appetizing and inviting, so it's really exciting. We'll be having this at the gates of the city this year, and I think it'll tie in really well to Memorial Day. You'll have the battleship there, the Maritime Museum. We have the boardwalk, which leads you to our Iwo Jima monuments and the Gold Star Family Monument. So really highlighting Fall River's beauty and attractions. We'll have a truck that's American food. We'll have a Portuguese truck. We'll have a barbecue truck. We'll have an Asian fusion. I believe it's an Asian Spanish fusion, which is really exciting. We'll have a seafood truck and our classic ice cream trucks.
That'll do it for this edition of FRC Media News. You can catch FRC Media News Thursdays and Fridays at 6 p.m. and online on our website, frcmedianews.org. For all of us here at FRC Media News, have a great Memorial Day weekend, and we'll see you next Thursday.